Hello and welcome to Ready Bet Action. It is just myself and Stefan Leco today coming with you. No Mike this week. We do have his picks for you. We'll make sure to let you know which picks are Mike's. So we got a number of college football week 6 picks for you. Week 6 picks. Love it. Excited to bring those to you. We are now partnering with RotoViz. If you're listening to us there already, then go check us out on YouTube and Instagram. If not, go check out RotoViz. It is a subscription-based fantasy football service. It really acts in a lot of great ways, whether it's you can use it for player props, you can use it for setting DFS lineups, those kind of things. So we're excited to be working with those guys. I've had a good time being with them this season. So let's dive in. Stefan, what's your favorite, most exciting? What are you most excited for this week?
I'm curious to see. I mean, obviously, the Texas-Florida game to me is super intriguing, just because Florida's not been.
It's intriguing. I don't know if it's good,
right? and like, there's all this talk about, is Arch a bust already? He's starting in his first season, so like I think that's a bit rough. But this is a big test for him at the Swamp. Really curious about that. Kind of a storyline I'm interested in this week is, with the new expanded conferences, like geographically, like the Big Ten, the ACC hitting both coasts, there's some big travels, like Washington's going to Maryland, stuff like that. I'm curious to see, like, if this travel situation still is as big of a deal as it was last year. If you look at how teams did against the spread when traveling 2 time zones last year in the power conferences, like, it was pretty obscene. So I'm actually not betting on all those games. I really like Washington. They're one of my dark horse teams this year. Not touching that one because last year they went on the road and lost it at Rutgers. So I mean, just got to be careful. But yeah, just that kind of stuff is going to be real interesting this week.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely agree. I think that 2 time zone thing I have stayed away from, and it's been pretty consistent. And I wonder, though, because the Big Ten was so new last year, and not that we hadn't had coast to coast games before, but we consistently have them. I wonder, like, at what point can you start betting, not letting that affect your betting as much because teams start to figure it out, like the travel schedule, the rest,
and the numbers will start to reflect it too. Like when Vegas sets their lines or sportsbooks set their lines, like that's a consideration now. So yeah,
absolutely.
Zigging and zagging all over the place. What are you most excited about this weekend?
Oh,
your buffs, our buffs?
Definitely not, man. I'll have to say, as someone who lives in Albuquerque, we talk about New Mexico football on this show more than probably any other betting. That's not true. The Sports Gambling Podcast talk over there. Our buddies over there talk about New Mexico football in general a lot. But I would say I'm excited, man. New Mexico is 3-1 for the first time in 20 years. Jason Eck is actually absolutely killing it, man. They're going to San Jose State this week. Last time they went to California, they put it on UCLA, which I know is a bad program, but UNM's historically the last 20 years one of the worst football programs in the entire country, and all of a sudden they're 3-1, and they sold out a stadium last week. And John Jones was there, some dude named Speed who's like an influencer. I don't know, like some kids listening to this podcast. Go ask your kids who this Speed guy is. And but it was a big deal, man. It was a big thing. And I'm excited to see what the Lobos do. I like the smaller football scene. Obviously, I will be out there watching the bigger games and whatnot as well. Excited to see how Notre Dame shows up this week, some of those other ones too. So all right, let's jump in. We have a number of picks. We will go through our picks. We'll give you Mike's picks as well. Mike's not here to defend them, so we can really tear apart his picks for him. I'm going to kick us off in the Big 12, man. Give me Kansas -3.5 going to Central Florida. So, I think Scott Frost is going to do a decent job at Central Florida. I just don't think it's this year. I think we started to see those cracks last week when they lost to Kansas State 34-20. So if Kansas State is rolling into UCF and covering a 14-point differential, or I guess, sorry, that was at Kansas State. I don't see why Kansas can't cover a 3.5-point spread against UCF. This number's too low for me. I think Kansas is going to go in there and kind of keep rolling against this UCF team.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Daniels threw just an obscene, like Cincinnati, I think, is still reeling from what he did
Yes.
to them, putting up just half a season's worth of stats in one game. Like, absolutely incredible. So if he can keep that going, I don't know if UCF is going to be able to keep up. I like that play.
Yep.
That's still a bit of a time travel situation, but I think
It
Kansas,
is.
Lance Leipold, I think, is a really great coach. And I don't use the word great lightly. Like, I use that intentionally. I think he's fantastic. So much so that how long can Kansas even keep him? I'm not sure. But while he's there, I think this Kansas team, especially when they're healthy, is a good team to back. So I like that play. It's not on my card, but now I'm wishing it was.
All right. Well, you tell us what's on yours first. Hit us with your first pick.
Okay, so one of my themes is absolutely fading trash teams. One of these trash teams won a surprising game when I picked against them in the backyard brawl, West Virginia. But then last week, playing Utah at home, they just got absolutely decimated. They're traveling to BYU this week. The line has moved quite a bit. So I know I'm giving you a late number here, and I wish we could have done it earlier in the week. I think it's at minus 18.5. It might even be at minus 19 now. I don't care if it's under 3 touchdowns. I'm going to play it. I think BYU is going to smash West Virginia at home. I think there's a lot of hype around this BYU program. They're still very much in the hunt for everything in the Big 12. West Virginia is not. I just think this is too much. As much as I think West Virginia, like with Rich Rod, I think it's super fun that he's back. I just don't see them being able to be competitive against this BYU team, who maybe not as dynamic as we might hope. Their defense is going to show up and play well against West Virginia, and they're going to be able to put up points. So I could see this one like being like 28-10 or something. That wouldn't cover, like 31-10, something like that, where West Virginia just is not scoring points, and BYU can kind of slow down and still put up, low 30s.
I think I looked during a halftime of the Colorado BYU game, and Bear Bachmeier had 100 rushing yards at halftime.
Yeah. Well, when you wear number 47, maybe you think you're a running back or a fullback or something. So
a fullback, man. And Bear and Tiger Bachmeier, man. I don't know if I've heard more like Gen Z BYU names in my whole life.
And their older brother's name is Hank.
That is great. How would you like to be Hank? That is so funny. That is great. All right. Well, I'm going to keep us moving. Let's go ahead and we're all texting about this one. Give me Iowa State at Cincinnati. Give me Iowa State to win. So Cincinnati, this is actually moved. So this you should be able to get at even money. So I'm going to go ahead and take, Iowa State kind of continues to get better throughout the year. Rocco Becht is an experienced quarterback going into Cincinnati. Like you said, Cincinnati was kind of reeling after Kansas. Man, I'm not really sure how Cincinnati is favored in this game, to be honest. So I'm just going to take Iowa State to win going away with this one, man. They are looking good. And, I guess the line kind of suggests that people think they're overrated. I don't necessarily think so, man. I think Iowa State's pushing for that Big 12 championship, man. I think I think we got a real good shot of an Iowa State Texas Tech Big 12 championship game.
I like it. Iowa State's a bit banged up. Both their starting corners out for the year, so that probably plays into this. Although, Cincinnati, I don't know if they're going to really exploit that. They'll try to, of course. And then Iowa State also out their kicker and backup kicker. So I don't know how much that impacts the lines, but Cincinnati's been good. They should have beat Nebraska. I'm not on this one, but I lean your side of it. I think Iowa State probably wins this game. The Big 12. I know I just picked BYU, but it's crazy, man. It's tough to keep up with.
It is the most, like I tell you guys, I think every week, the Big 12 is not the best football conference. That is the Big 10 and the SEC. But it is the most fun conference, and I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
It is by far the most fun college football conference. All right, what you got for us next?
Well, I'm quickly checking to see if I had a pick on any of these early games. That the BYU game is on Friday, so you definitely want to put that in early. But the next game chronologically is we're gonna go to the Midwest, to some small schools here. Ohio Bobcats travel to Ball State. I'm all over Ohio on this one. Minus 14.5. They're an actually good football team. Ball State is not. I don't think this line is taking into account the difference in talent on these two teams. I think it's one of those games where Ohio gets rolling, and a ladder of this particular play is definitely in the question for me. So I'm going to go with the Bobcats to continue here. They last year when they played Ball State, they had almost 300 yards rushing. So I think they're able to do pretty much whatever they want offensively. Question is, can Ball State keep up? I don't think they can, which is why I'm not on the total. But I do like Ohio to win pretty comfortably here on the road.
I like that. It's a little Maction going on. When do we start getting our like Tuesday Maction games?
Dude,
usually
I
like
was
in a
just
couple
thinking
weeks, right?
about that. I remembered last year we had that episode when you were like, we have 110 days of consecutive football. I was like, oh, let's go. Like,
yes, that day is coming. It happens every year. Someone posted it. It's like, man, we got 110 days of football, and it's because we get Maction on Tuesday nights. That's great. I love that. Man, Ohio's looked good in a couple of the bigger games they played this year too. So I really like that. Let's talk some Mountain West football. Give me the New Mexico Lobos plus 2.5. It was this morning at San Jose State. Jason Eck has this team absolutely rolling. No major injuries from what I've checked and can see. They're playing a San Jose State team who is 1-3. And they have wins against Idaho, a 3-point win against Idaho. And then they lost to Stanford by 1 point last week, which is what I'm kind of thinking is giving them the favorite line here, that they were competitive against kind of their big brother there in the Bay Area. That to me is an emotional situation where you're coming back and having to play a really tough New Mexico team. Again, this team is built off of like FCS All-Stars from last year. New Mexico has put up 32 to 38 points in all of their games, and they were within 10 points of Michigan going into the fourth quarter. So they've played Michigan on the road. They've gone to the Rose Bowl, which isn't intimidating. The point is they're used to traveling. I'm not worried about the travel with New Mexico because they've shown they can travel and show up. So I'll actually have New Mexico on the money line, but just give me the 2.5 because San Jose State has had a couple close games already this year. So
yeah, I love it. I think another way to play this is taking the over. Both.
yeah,
I mean,
actually, probably
New Mexico loves. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's in the mid 50s, like 55 or 52. I don't mind doing like a little same game parlay where you take New Mexico, give them a couple extra points, then also bump down their team total over so that you can kind of correlate those, like a nice offensive performance that keeps them in the game or possibly winning. So yeah, I like New Mexico too. It's been fun watching them play. I mean, it's just fun football.
It's fun. They'll hit a point of their season, man, where they're playing, the Boise States or whatever. And I don't think they'll be rolling, but man, I think this team's on track to make a bowl. I hope they get to 4 wins this week.
Do you have one of Mikey's plays that we can talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move over to Mike's one of Mike's plays. Mike has a play that I am not in agreement on.
Yes, let's hear it.
I think he's doing it because they're service academies. He's got Air Force at Navy under 52.5.
Oh, that's my pick, buddy. That's my pick.
Oh, that's your pick. I don't agree with you on that. In that case, this is not. I'm sorry, Mike. Do you want to talk? Let's talk about that pick because I do disagree with you on it. Because Navy and Air Force has played in high scoring games, and Navy has scored some points this year. So you tell me about this under you have.
Yeah, so
I'm not about to bet an over on a service academy game,
right,
just for the record either. So,
so like the last couple of years, these numbers in these service academy games have been like upper 30s. We're in the 50s now, so I think there's just a big difference.
Yeah.
Also, you think about the types of offenses that these teams play and how unique they are. So when they do go and play someone that they don't see very often, it's tough for them and they're able to take advantage of that. These teams practice against these offenses every day. So I think we're going to have a pretty good understanding of what we're going to do. They play each other every year. So to me, like also you just look historically, like I think the under is like 42, 17 and 3 or something crazy like that. Like it just always seems to hit. Like it's a system play for me. When they were in the 30s, I would avoid them, but seeing an under in a service academy in the 52.5, I gotta take it.
I agree,
just on principle. So so I mean, this one could shoot out and I'll be like, dang it. Didn't
I don't.
expect that, but I think probability wise, it hits.
They know how to play each other on defense. Like I will give you that. Like the reason why they're always low is because no one knows how to play a triple option team like another triple option team. So
And
that makes a lot of sense.
and I don't know the numbers on this, so this is an assumption of mine, and so I shouldn't even probably do that. But I can't imagine their tempo is super high. Like I imagine they're going
No.
to be
Yep.
trying to limit possessions, move methodically down the field,
Yep.
and I just think that we see even if they're efficient offenses where they're able to score on a lot of their drives, I don't think they have enough drives in the game to really
Yep.
go over. So
It'll be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. All right, let's move to one of Mike's picks. We have Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt going to Alabama at -8.5. I actually was going to parlay at not agreeing with Mike's. I thought that was his pick to actually how much I agree with this. Man, I also am
so he's
probably
on Bama -8.5.
Bama -8.5. Dude, this is a huge revenge spot for Alabama. They were embarrassed by Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt last year. Now, I do think this is a better Vanderbilt team than last year, and I think they're playing actual really good football, and it's an SEC game, so 8.5 is a lot. I think Alabama wants to absolutely crush like this storyline and the tale of this kid. He's like in his 7th year. I think he's applying to be 8th. He's making a career out of college football, as he should. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's not good enough. He's not big enough. He won't be in the NFL. So he should go back to college and keep getting paid if he can. That being said, man, it has to end at some point. And I think it has to end against a team like Alabama, who's coming off a big win against Georgia. So I actually like Alabama to cover this week too.
Where's he getting 8.5 though? Because I am looking and I can't see anything under double digits. Maybe is he buying points here?
He's buying points. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a -144.
Okay, that makes sense. So, Bama, my concern with them is with Kalen DeBoer, they have not been able to stop a rushing quarterback. We saw what Tommy
They're
Castellanos
horny.
was able to do. We saw what Pavia was able to do last year. So my concern would be that. I'm glad he has a play on this game though, because I am curious to hear y'all's thoughts on it. I like the over in this one personally. I was thinking about doing like a Bama team total over parlayed with Bama on the money line, something like that, but not a show pick. But I think Bama wins, but I could see this one being really close and very high scoring. I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch for sure.
I agree. It'll be a fun one. It's a big revenge spot. I think Vanderbilt is becoming a must-watch team for sure in the SEC. Let's give you one more of Mike's picks before we get yours and my last picks, and then we will wrap up with another one there. We'll go with Mike's got Colorado at TCU. TCU covering 13.5 in Fort Worth. I was at this game where Colorado beat them 2 seasons ago. Those fans were pissed. The coaching staff will remember it. I don't think they have like two seasons is too much for the players, I think, to care that much about this game. I think people talk about that a lot. Like, I don't think the TCU players care that much about a revenge spot, but the coaches, Sonny Dykes, absolutely cares. And he wants to go show the fans that like he is going to come in and beat a down Colorado team. And I don't think TCU is going to take their foot off the gas this week. I just don't see Colorado being able to keep up in pretty much any dimension of their game at this point. So I'm a very cynical Colorado fan at this point, and that's what I feel about it.
Same. I had TCU -13.5, and I just didn't copy and paste it when I sent it over to you, but it's on. I'm staring at it right now.
We got two.
So,
yeah. We got.
So I was kind of on TCU as well on this one.
All right. Why don't you hit us with your last college football pick of the week?
Well, I've got 2 for you still, I think. More. So I'm gonna go. Did I talk about James Madison already?
Nope.
James Madison is going to Georgia State. Let me just give you some of Georgia State's scores. They lost to Ole Miss 7-63. They lost to Memphis 16-38. They lost to Vandy 21-70. They did have a 37-21 victory in there, but that was against Murray State. James Madison is one of the better teams in the group of 5/6. I think they absolutely roll Georgia State here. So give me Georgia State -20.5. This is another one that's moved from like 18 or 17.5 to 18.5. So I'm a little bit bummed that I'm getting in here late, but I still think James Madison cruises. James Madison cannot afford to scrape by victories here. They need to smash when they can smash because they're going to be up against it when it comes to which group of 6-5 team makes it to the college football playoff. So they need to impress. They need style points. And it's just in James Madison's nature to try to go out there and score. So give me minus 20.5. I just don't think the line's big enough here.
That's great. I love a good James Madison bet. That makes me happy. Man, you're coming out with Mac and American betting out here. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
All
Got some
right.
service academies. Let's go.
Yeah. I'll give you my last pick of the week. I'm going to take Pitt minus 6.5 at home versus Boston College. Look, I get Pitt lost versus West Virginia, man, but we liked Pitt though. And I still, I'm going to give him the nod on a rivalry game, losing that to West Virginia. So give me Pitt minus 6.5. But this is more of a bet against how bad Boston College is. They lost to Cal last week, 28-24.
Cal is not that bad.
They got stomped after the week we talked about them and said that Cal was good. So I don't know if Cal's that bad, but they're not great. They lost 10 points to Stanford. They went to Stanford and lost by 10. Stanford's one of the worst Power 5 teams. They lost a close one to Michigan State. So just, the only team they'd be is Fordham. And then, I think Pitt and that coaching staff is better than Bill O'Brien and that coaching staff. And it's at home for Pitt, a touchdown. Like, I will take it. Absolutely take it.
I hope you're right. I have so much I laddered Pitt's win totals. So let's go Pitt. Let's go. Hail Pitt.
This is one you need to win. Yeah.
Yes. So I hope you are right. Hopefully Eli Holstein doesn't throw 5 picks again.
Oh my gosh, what a nightmare!
All right, up 17. They were up 17-0 against Louisville. Like they looked good at the beginning. Yeah, my last pick. I think one of the games of the week. Longhorns traveling to the Swamp. There's a lot riding on this game. I think Billy Napier, even if he wins this, he may not make it to next year. But if he loses this, he's in a world of hurt. Sark and company have been criticized for not winning by enough, not looking good enough on offense. I think that all stemmed from that Ohio State loss early on, where they just couldn't do anything to move the ball. And I almost said Quinn Ewers. Arch Manning was just missing throws. I think they get it right against Florida. I don't know what to expect from scoring. I kind of wanted to play the first half under, but it's at 20.5, and there's no way I'm touching that with DJ Lagway with the potential to throw a couple pick sixes, and there goes that. So give me Texas minus 5.5. I think it might be a slower start to this game, but over 4 quarters, Texas, in my estimation, has a better situation going into this game. I like what they have a quarterback more. I think their wide receivers are dynamic. Florida is getting Wilson back at wide receiver, which will be interesting to see. Their defense has been lights out, but they just have been so inept on offense. I think Texas is able to get going again. I think this is a game that kind of like changes the narrative on them. Like looking back, we'll be like, oh, this is the game that Texas started rolling again. Now, again, I was on the Texas team total under for the year, so I'm not like this Texas rah-rah boy. Like I am not super high on this team, but I'm even lower on Florida right now. Yes, it's at the Swamp. This number started at like 7.5 and it's gone down to 5.5. So I'm fading the public here, which makes me even happier.
Yeah, I mean, Sarkisian had the Sam Houston game and a bye week to get Arch Manning fixed. And I don't know if he's totally fit. You can totally fix someone in 2 weeks, but I think that could only have helped to essentially be planning to set him up for this game to do only the things that he is really good at and can be successful with. So
yeah, I think we see him run a lot too, which will be fun to see.
Yep. Last pick is from Mike. We have a teaser parlay here. We got Texas Tech minus 6.5, which I love. Man, Texas Tech just looks gangbusters this year.
And they're playing Houston, right?
They're going to Houston. And then we have Texas Tech minus 6.5, and you're going to add Iowa State plus 7.5 to get a nice minus 106. So I like that. I like both of those. Again, I think, assuming Iowa State can get a healthy kicker, I think Iowa State, this could be a Big 12 championship parlay for us. This week. So
I still kind of like Utah to make it. I think they're going to be just fine. But yeah, I could see if it's not them, Tech and Iowa State are pretty solid choices.
A Utah Texas Tech
rematch
would be a heck of a rematch. I might go to Dallas for that. I might go to Dallas Cowboy Stadium for that. All right. let's run it down. Don't forget to follow us on the socials, YouTube and Instagram. Also, check us out on RotoViz. Go check out our NFL shows. We got NFL coming at you this week. And let's run down our college football week 6 picks. I got Kansas -3.5 at UCF. I got Iowa State money line at Cincinnati, New Mexico +2.5 at San Jose State, and Boston College at Pitt -6.5 or Pitt -6.5.
Yeah. I'm going to go BYU -18.5 hosting West Virginia. We're going to go Ohio -14.5 at Ball State. We're going to take Texas on the road at -5.5. We're going to take James Madison on the road at -20.5. And in the Air Force Navy game, we're going to go under 52.5.
Wonderful. We'll do Mike's picks are Alabama -8.5 taking on Vanderbilt, TCU -13.5 with Colorado visiting, and then Texas. You're gonna do a parlay, of Texas Tech -6.5 and Iowa State +7.5. That's how we're gonna make money on college football this week. We will see y'all over at the NFL show.